Alrighty, so you want to try out Airsoft, do ya? You've probably got a million questions or uncertainties racing through your mind. Well, fret not, you've come to the right place. This video is specifically for those who have never played Airsoft before, or are about to, or considering giving it a try. I'm not gonna tell you what guns you should buy or throw a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo your way. Let's keep it simple. You're gonna go as a renter, and you want to survive your first day.
But P-Dog, I don't know any rules in Airsoft.
The rules of Airsoft are very, very simple, and the number one priority is always going to be player safety. Before we jump in, each Airsoft field may have slightly different variations in rules, so pay attention to the safety speech of your specific field. However, here are the most common, universal rules that apply to the game of Airsoft to promote fair play and player safety. Rule numero uno is to keep your eye protection on at all times in the play area. Eye protection keeps us all from going blind very quickly. Also, don't be that guy who thinks it's okay to take your eye pro off when the game ends. The only place you can take eye pro off is in the designated safe area. This will probably be on the other side of the safety netting, lunch area, or parking lot, whichever applies to your specific field. If your eye pro does fog up, go to one of these areas. Do not take your eye pro off in the play area. Ever. If you're curious why you might not be able to take your eye pro off in the play area at the end of the game, that's because players may still be shooting their guns at stuff, just not each other. The guns are still considered hot, and these guns are only made safe once they enter the safe area. Rule number 2, when you're hit, raise your hand, say hit, and head over to wherever you're supposed to respawn. Depending on the game mode, what you do when you are hit might be different. Some game modes are short and don't have respawns, or maybe it's attack and defend and only attackers have respawns. It all just depends on the game mode. Best advice I can give here is to keep your hand raised while you're dead. A raised hand is the universal sign for a player who has been hit. Rule number 3 is that there is no physical contact in Airsoft. Your field might allow silent melee kills with safe to use, soft or rubber melee weapons, but there is zero tolerance for punching, weapon striking, or tackling. That should be a no-brainer here. I actually feel kinda silly having to mention that. 2 more specific rules I should mention is you probably cannot climb shit like trees or rooftops like some ninja. You might fall and break your legs. And if you're playing outdoors, don't shoot the wildlife. Jesus Christ. Any other rules regarding things such as engagement distance, grenades, the use of flashlights, or anything else will be brought up during the safety speech at your specific field. Oh yeah, field rule honorable mention. If you gotta pee, or heaven forbid, poo, don't do it out there in the play area before, during, or after play. I swear to God. Alright, moving on.
But P-Dog, does Airsoft hurt? Will I die?
I'm gonna keep this simple. A BB feels like a hard finger flick on bare skin. Not from a tiny, weak finger, but also not from a sausage finger with thick ass fingernails either. Somewhere in the middle. You're gonna feel it, you're gonna flinch, but the pain should only last 3 to 5 seconds. It may also leave a teeny tiny little welt that'll go away after 1 to 2 weeks or so. Definitely nothing close to the welt a paintball leaves behind. Although I will touch on how to deal with most of these specific areas later on in the video, the worst places to get shot are the hands or fingers, the top of the head, the neck, the inner thigh, and the sides of your torso. Oh yeah, also your PP and boobs too. Maybe don't play Airsoft in a Speedo.
P-Dog, I don't have any fancy camo or protective clothing. Just what in the heck should I wear on my first day?
As a first-time player, all you need is 2 layers for the chest and something like a pair of jeans for your legs. I'd suggest a t-shirt and a hoodie. But of course, in the heat of summer, you might need to figure something out. Maybe wear a layer underneath that wicks the sweat away, and then something over top. Please, please, please wear gloves. Getting shot in the hand during your first game might put you off. At least with a little bit of finger protection, it gives you a fighting chance to go out there and have some fun. To protect your head or ears, I'd suggest a toque. If you don't live in Canada and don't know what the hell a toque is, wear a beanie, or maybe just a baseball cap. In terms of footwear, things might get muddy, so try wearing boots or at least something you don't mind getting dirty. You're gonna be jogging around, or maybe even sprinting, so wear something you can run in as well. Don't go to airsoft in flip-flops. I'm going to shoot your piggies, I swear to God. Anyways, that's what you should wear. I'd also suggest that if you're playing outdoors, consider not wearing bright neon colors. You'll be easier to spot, trust me.
But P-Dog, I still don't know what sort of experience to expect. I'm scared. I make poopy.
So, I get asked this question a lot in many different ways. All I can say is that you're gonna be learning a lot of things on the spot. Map layout, game modes, different types of styles of gear or guns all the regulars use, and of course, that first adrenaline rush you're gonna feel once your first game starts. It's going to be an information overload. You're probably gonna feel like you're surrounded by other players that are more experienced than you are as well. Don't panic. There's nothing more that we experienced players appreciate than seeing new people trying out airsoft, because that means the airsoft community is growing. Most of the time, experienced players want to help and guide first-timers, teaching them their ways and showing them cool stuff. Every time I go to airsoft, there's always an instance where a new player is complimenting an experienced player's gear or gun, because they're fascinated. Experienced players love show and tell, and sometimes even let the newbie shoot a few BBs out of their fancy gun. What I'm trying to say is that don't be scared of the regulars. We're here to help and guide you. Let us lead the charge. Speaking of which,
P-Dog, as a brand new player, how can I help my team? How should I play?
don't expect to be just slaying out there. Don't get me wrong, some people do pretty damn well on their first day, but don't feel like you need to rush the objective or be the best or know everything on your first day. Follow the regulars, push up towards the action, and find cover to hide behind. Pretty quickly, you're gonna find out just how far or not far your rental gun may reach. That should be a pretty decent hint on your effective engagement distance. Find yourself a good spot near the front line and try to discover angles out there on the field that you can hold. Try and play passive aggressively. Move up, but don't just sprint towards me and sacrifice yourself either. Hold angles, play defensive, but also be helpful by staying near the action. Also, it's super important that you try to communicate with your teammates out there as well. If you see an enemy, say something and try to be descriptive, where they are as well as something to identify them. For example, I see one by the bridge. He's wearing a blue hoodie. Trust me, play like this and you're going to have a good time.
Thank you, P-Dog. You've given me the confidence I need to go out there and give Airsoft a try. I am no longer scared. I will not make poopy.
You're welcome. I just want to wrap up this video and say you're most likely gonna have a great time. There's nothing quite like your first time running around slinging BBs at your enemies while also trying to avoid getting BBs slung at you. It's gonna be exciting, but you're probably gonna feel anxious or nervous. This is normal. You might feel shy or maybe just a little reserved around the experienced players. But trust me, we know you're new, and the easiest way to break the ice is to point at our fancy gun and ask us to talk about it. Chances are, we probably won't shut up about it either. Go out there, obey the rules, and keep your eyes protected at all times. And try to be near the front line, or at least where you think the action is taking place. Observe your teammates, follow them, hold angles, and learn some decent spots, and maybe let your potential kills come to you. When it's all said and done and it's time to go home, you're gonna have a few tiny welts, but many lasting memories. Welcome to Airsoft. Our community welcomes you, and we hope to see you come back.